Welcome to this chair yoga class. Find a good chair and let's get started. Sitting up nice and tall in your chair, roll your shoulders back and down. Close your eyes or look downcast. We'll begin to become more present by becoming aware of our environment. Bring your awareness in closer, become aware of your body sitting on the chair. Coming in closer, become aware of your breath and the movement of your breath in your body. Notice how your mind is this morning. Is it easy to be present, or are you being pulled by other responsibilities? Notice what feelings are showing up for you this morning. And beneath all of this activity is an infinite pool of silence and potential. Allow an intention to form for today's practice. And let's anchor that intention by sharing the sound of Om. Take a deep breath in. And eyes open or closed. I'm going to scoot forward on my chair a little bit just because I like to be more active. I'm going to follow the breath, inhaling up and exhaling down. From the belly all the way up to the collarbones. Breathing out all the way down to the belly. Let's take this into sun shining breath. And I learned something very interesting this week. Turn the palms over, press down. The reason we change the direction of our arms is because there's a tendon in our shoulder. And when we come down, we turn our palms over, rotate the shoulders down so the tendon gets out of the way. Same way, turning our palms up and rotating this way so the tendon doesn't impede our range of motion. Let's turn this into a side stretch, bringing one arm up and stretching over. Reaching back out and pressing down. Bringing the other arm up and stretching over. Reaching out and pressing down. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale down. Turn that into a side twist. Let's bring both arms up. Exhale, spinal twist. Inhale up. Exhale, twist the other way. Hands to heart. And then stretch up tall. Let's bring the ear over to one side. Roll the head forward and bring the ear the other way. Shoulders relaxed and down. And roll the head forward and ear the other way. And come back to center. Inhale tall and look over your shoulder. And look over the other way. So this class is going to be working on rotator cuff. And according to one of my sources, it is possible to prevent surgery by doing regular rotator cuff exercises. So here we go. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to begin with shoulder isolations. Inhale, one shoulder up, squeezing that shoulder up and down, back to center. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder up and back to center. Inhale, shoulder up, squeeze, and down. This time we're going to bring that shoulder forward and back to center. Now come closer. and center. Forward and center. Next one is pressing that shoulder down as far as you can and back to center. Press it down and center and down and center. The last one is back and center, back and center, back and center. So rotator cuff tear could be in the front, could be in the top, could be in the back. So if any of those directions hurt, then just skip that, only going to point of interesting sensation, never to the point of pain. Let's take that now in a full circle. Covering all 4 directions. And stop and go the other way. Covering all 4 directions. And rest. Notice how that shoulder feels. And we'll do the other side. So squeeze that shoulder up and back to center. So center is neutral. And relax. And squeeze. And down. Bring that shoulder forward. And center. Bring the shoulder down and center. Down and center. Down and center. Bring it back and center. Feel your shoulder blades engage back there and center. Back and center. Let's take that in all 4 directions. And as we go through these rotator cuff activities, you'll recognize that we've been doing a lot of them anyway. So that's the good news. Now we know that they're specifically excellent for helping heal rotator cuff injuries. And let's stop, and we'll go the other way. Let me go get my cheat sheet. Okay. Next one, can you get your arm behind your back? So bring one arm behind our back. We're going to turn our head towards the side where our hand and our arm is. And bow the head and lift it up. So relaxing that shoulder down. Bring the head back to center. And relax. And the other arm behind you. So again, whatever distance you can do is fine. We're going to turn our head towards our hand and our arm. Bow the head and lift it up. And feel where the stretch is. And come back to center and release. And do that first movement again, bringing your hand behind you. Okay, there we go. Bring your hand behind you. And turn towards our arm and our hand, but this time, I'm going to rotate the ear. We're going to bring the head forward and backward over the shoulder. Back to center, roll the chin down. Inhale up, release your hand. Bring the other arm behind you. Bring your ear to your shoulder. Roll the head forward and backward, lifting the chin slightly, tucking the chin slightly. Breathing into the stretch. Back to stillness, roll your chin to your chest. Inhale up and release. We're going to bring one arm out. It's an isometric exercise. We're going to hug the elbow in close. And then we're going to take the other hand and hold the forearm. So we're going to pull the arm in towards the midline. At the same time, we're going to resist pulling the other arm away from the midline. So isometric is when you're not moving, but you're working hard. That's what a lot of yoga is, right? When we hold a pose. So we're bringing the shoulder down, well, shoulders relaxed, the elbow into the side of the body, and then pulling the arm into the midline and pushing away from the midline, both at the same time. And you get to choose how much effort, how hard or how gentle you want to be. And let's release. And then we'll bring the other arm up and squeeze that elbow into your body. Grab your forearm, pull this arm in, push this arm out. So counter directions. And I'm actually feeling it in my shoulder muscle, the arm that's bent, this arm, feeling it in that shoulder muscle. Where are you feeling it? And release. Okay, the next one's going to use the same shape. We're going to bring our hand like this, make a soft fist, and we're just going to bring the arm across the body and back. Remember, we're only challenging our range of motion to a point of interest, never to pain. You can't do as many repetitions. Stop and take a break. Breathe into the stretch. So I'm not counting, but we're doing about 10 repetitions. And down. Wow, feel a big difference in the two arms and shoulders? Just from a simple operation like that. So let's bring the other arm up. Soft fist, bring the arm across and back. Gently stretching the muscles of the shoulder, helping our torn rotator cuffs heal. And relax. Feel the energy in your shoulders. All right, the next one is done best at an angle. So if you're in a chair, it's going to be a little bit challenging. Learn this one, but then do it later when you're like lying on a sofa or something. So can you tip over to one side safely? So it's what we're going to do is bring the hand across and open, but if you can, do it on a tip. Touching the shoulder and coming into a goddess arm. So, later you could be lying on your side on your sofa with your elbow on the sofa. So you're even tipped over a little more at an angle. And again, we'll go for about 10 repetitions, but I'm not counting. All right. And come back to center. These are very simple movements, but you can feel the energy that it's bringing into your arm and shoulder. Okay, so again, we'll find a way to tip over to the other side. So we're not rotating at all. Again, if you're on the sofa, you could have your forearm on your sofa. But figure out what's a safe way to tip. So we're doing like a goddess arm and then across to the shoulder. So we're doing about 10 repetitions and coming back up. All right. The last seated two, we're just going to sit up nice and tall and squeeze our shoulder blades back and broaden our chest and relax. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, broaden the chest, and relax. So again, we're doing about 10 repetitions. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, relax. And let it go. So I've got a couple of standing ones, but let's check the time and maybe we could do a little leg warm-ups before we go to the standing versions. So I'm going to find my chair. And my clock. Yeah, do a little leg warm-ups. Okay, so letting our arms rest for a minute. Let's pick up a leg and draw some circles. If you don't want to draw circles, you can draw circles on the floor. Let's just draw some circles this way. And draw some circles the other way. And then pick up the other leg and draw some circles. And draw some circles the other way. And then let's step over a barrel. Use your hand if you need to. Help you. If you can't step over the barrel, then just slide your leg in and out. Center. Step over the barrel. Side. I'm going to do a Charleston number. Remember that one? So knees go out, hands cross, knees go out, knees go out, hands cross the opposite way. Doing the Charleston. And then see if you can step a foot out and bring your knee down and back. Stepping your foot out, bring your knee down and back. Sit up nice and tall. Let's do a little circling around. Circle back, you're rounding your back. Circle forward, you're bringing your chest forward. It's not just the hip circles that we did forward. Bigger and engaging our whole spine, rounding back, stretching forward, lifting the head and the chest, tucking the chin. So it started with little circles, and you can stay with those. Get nice and big. And come to stillness. And we'll go the other way, just starting with nice little easy circles. And then as you feel to, we're making those circles bigger and we're getting our spine involved, rounding back. Reaching forward with our chest, rounding back. Lifting the heart, stretching up. Contracting. And lifting. Making those circles as big or as small as you like. And coming to stillness and taking it in. Let's do some sit to stands. We're up to 7. You can have your arms out in front of you or hugging your shoulders. Inhale. 1. 2. 3. 4. Skip a set if you need to, or if you can't stand up, just press your feet into the floor and engage your legs. 5. 6. Almost there. And 7, and we're up. Good, shake it out. Okay, you can come behind your chair. I'm going to go to the side of my chair. So this is another exercise for your rotator cuff. You're going to bring one hand on top of the other, and you're going to do kind of a little ski move. Just find where it feels good that you're getting a stretch, and do a little ski move. Just find where you feel a little stretch in the shoulders as you ski down the mountain. So you find, how far back you need to go, or how high or how low. And stop and take a rest, maybe holding onto the chair, or hands in Anjali Mudra, or at your sides. And then put the other hand on top. So whichever hand you have on top, change hands. Walk yourself back away from the chair so your arms are straight, and then figure out how far back you want your butt to go. Maybe a little ski move here, feeling that stretch in your shoulders. This is good for your legs too while you're at it, right? A little core work too. I love how you get multiple benefits from one activity. But we're focusing on feeling a nice stretch in our shoulders. And you'll probably stop more because your knees are tired than your shoulders, but when you're ready to stop, go back to your chair, hold on, or relax. And the last one I have for you today is called the pendulum. And for the pendulum, you want to bend over. So you're stretched out away from your chair. Your arm is dangling. So first we're going to dangle it towards the body and away. Just let that arm relax. Let the weight of your arm pull you down. Now, if this arm is hurting you, you're going to have to figure out something else, maybe a lower support or something. So you don't want that other shoulder to be hurting. You can use your yoga principles while you're doing this. Draw your belly in, stretch your spine. So really relaxing that arm. The rest of the body can be engaged, but the arm is totally relaxed. And then we're going to swing it side to side. Letting all the tension just drain out of that arm and shoulder. So again, good yogic challenge is if you're engaging your legs, engaging your core, stretching your back, all of that part of your body is active, and then the arm and shoulder completely relaxed. That's a great yogic practice. And come to stillness and circle. Circles can be as big or as small as you like. Just focus on relaxing that arm. Come to stillness and circle the other way. And come to stillness and slowly roll yourself up. Come back to your chair. Sit or stand and just compare the two arms and shoulders. Wow. And we'll do the other side. So again, find a height that works for you so that shoulder's not getting challenged. Okay, and then walk yourself back. Put you parallel to the floor and let that arm dangle. So again, I'm also adding to engage your legs. Draw your belly in, lengthen your spine. So your body's engaged. You're doing yoga posture here. And then we're letting the arm relax. Little pendulum swing here forward and back towards your body and away. Your arm should be so relaxed that if I came over and gave it a little tap, it would swing on its own. Let's come to stillness, and then we'll pendulum swing from right to left. We'll come to stillness and we'll pendulum swing in a circle. And I'm thinking that if you can't do this standing up, there probably would be a way to make it work. Like sitting far away from a counter or something and having your hand on the counter and then leaning forward and doing the pendulum swing that way. If your back or legs are getting tired, please stop and do this in stages. And circle back the other way. Remember to keep that arm and shoulder relaxed. You also have the benefit of being yogis and know to breathe into that arm. And let's come to stillness and slowly walk ourselves back up. And rest either standing in Tadasana or sitting in your chair. Let's come back to our chairs. Take a few breaths here and notice what's happening in our shoulders and arms. And maybe the rest of our body and our breath. So we're going to try two more and turn our palms down, cross our hands on our knees, begin to slide down. So depending on your flexibility, that's how far forward you want to go. You want to try to get those arms to cross as much as possible. And then let your head relax. I'm thinking having a support behind your lower back might be nice because this pose is really done lying down on the floor or in your bed or whatever. So having something propped up against your lower back might make this nicer. Inhale back up. Finding seated mountain pose. And then we'll cross the opposite arms. And then depending on your flexibility, as much as you can cross them, you're coming forward a little bit, letting your head dangle. Finding what works for you so that it feels good. And inhale up. Take that in. Coming back to seated mountain. Shoulders down, chest broad, counter to what we just did in that forward fold. And then the last counter stretch, and again, this is usually done lying down, so it's going to depend on your range of motion. You might again choose to do this after I demonstrate it with your elbows on the counter. So you bring your arms together as best you can. You might want to rest your elbows on the counter and bring your forehead down between your hands. Again, if you don't have the flexibility to bring your arms up and the hands over your head, then just do what works for you. And release. And press back into your chair for Shavasana. Let your awareness go inside. Travel to your shoulders and imagine sending healing energy into your shoulders. Stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back into the room. Namaste.